Restlessness, being disruptive in class, and slipping report cards. All of these symptoms most commonly associated with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
But there are also common symptoms for dozens of other conditions or disorders. So how do you know if it's ADHD, and how do you know how you should treat it?
Well, it's a question many parents struggle with, and tonight we're here to provide some information that might be helpful in making that decision.
WGEM's Kendra Whittle has more in this in-depth report, School Daze.
Leslie and Matt, the CDC reports that around 5 million school-age kids are diagnosed with ADHD every year, and those numbers have climbed over the last decade. Psychiatrists say they know even more about diagnosing this behavioral disorder than ever before, but because the symptoms are so similar to other conditions, it's a challenge even for them. Darla Gauss teaches special education in the Canton School District. She says she's seeing more students diagnosed with behavioral disabilities than ever before.
Just a whole wide range of ADHD and some of the other severe disabilities.
Today's math lesson, counting by twos. Gauss's classroom is set up with a specific focus on the students.
I think the two most important things are, one is structure and consistency. We do this, we have a program, we have a structured time for everything. We don't change things up if it's working.
So how are students diagnosed with ADHD? Child psychiatrist Lanny Stiles with Blessing Behavioral Center says there is no medical test. He says it comes down to an extensive observation by parents, teachers, and doctors. Once diagnosed, parents and doctors have to settle on a treatment plan. In many cases, they choose drugs like Ritalin and Adderall.
Medication is probably the first and the most effective choice for ADHD.
But some experts say too many kids are over-medicated, citing a study from Michigan State University that says as many as 1 million kids are misdiagnosed every year.
I certainly could see that there are some children who may be over-medicated or medicated with the wrong prescriptions.
Chris McCormick-Prees is a nurse practitioner from Davenport, Iowa, who recently lectured at an ADHD seminar at Western Illinois University. Her son was also diagnosed with ADHD, but she says sometimes a child's behavior isn't what it seems.
Anxiety disorders very often mimic symptoms of attention deficit disorder. Children who are asthmatic and they're on bronchodilators or theophylline or they're on steroids, they often present looking like they have ADHD.
And McCormick-Prees says if a child is misdiagnosed, ADHD medication could cause even more problems. So evaluations must be extremely comprehensive.
Always asking yourself, is there anything else going on? Have I missed something?
Back in Canton, Gauss says students in her classroom are on the road to success. And once properly diagnosed and treated, there's no reason ADHD should hold anyone back in life.
Just letting the student know this is what I expect.
McCormick-Prees says without proper treatment, ADHD can lead to issues in adulthood, such as depression and substance abuse. Kendra Whittle, WGEM News.
Now, if you're watching this and suspect your child might have ADHD, one place you can start for some information is the CDC website. It has a behavioral checklist that you can fill out, and we've also posted that as well as some other information about ADHD and how it's diagnosed on our website at WGEM.com. We continue our in-depth report, School Daze. Last night we told you that nearly 1 in 10 kids nationwide are diagnosed with ADHD every year. And because there's no exact test for the disorder, doctors say they work alongside parents and teachers to identify the behavior in kids. While local psychiatrists say that medication is the most effective way for managing ADHD symptoms, national research Dr. Peg Dawson says behavior therapy can go hand in hand successfully. She says that parents and teachers can help keep a kid on task and develop habits for getting their work done without a meltdown.
You know, 5-minute chores is better than one 25-minute chore. Or building in frequent brief breaks is one way to do that. Using incentives where you can, although that has to be done very carefully. It's most often not done well when either parents or teachers ask kids to work for a very long period of time from their perspective for a very small reward.
Dawson says that parents and teachers can also use a checklist to help kids keep track of assignments and to monitor if their behavior is improving.